Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today I have decided to play around with some different spreads for my budget journal, kind of like a bullet journal that I'm making. So this is my first time making a designated budget journal, and I just thought it would be fun to film the process as I go through and create spreads. So if you've seen my mini haul video, you would have seen that I got these stamps from Joann's, and I wanted to see if I would be able to use them just with my brush pens rather than having a stamp pad. So I just wanted to show you what the outcome was of that. If you haven't seen that video yet, I will go ahead and link it below so that you can see the full stamp pad and the other items that I got, including this planner and another notebook that I did get. So my first attempt, I definitely did not put enough ink on the stamp. And my second attempt, you can see that the days of the week down the left hand side just really aren't clear. And so I wanted to try the other large stamp just to see what my outcome was with that and if it was the same or if it was different. So I definitely put a lot more ink on that one. And when I lift it up, you'll see that I did have a similar issue just where the negative space, the headers aren't that clear. So I do definitely want to get a stamp pad and just see if I have better results with that. I also wanted to try a little dollar sign to see if something simple that did not have negative space would work, and that was a lot better, but I still want to see if I have a better outcome with a stamp pad. So my first spread that I'm making is just a overview sheet of my accounts. So this will be all of my cards that I have and all of my bank accounts. So I just want to have which account it was, the last four digits of either the account or the card, the bank it's with, the type, so if it's credit or debit, and then an interest rate. I also have both US and Canadian accounts, so I will add a currency column when I make this one in my actual journal that I am making neat and tidy. So all of the ones that I'm doing today are not going to be tidy. I'm really just trying to figure out what concepts I like for my spreads, and then once I have an idea of how I'm going to lay them out, then I will do them again and take time to make them neat and tidy. And I will, once I've done that, post a video showing what the final spreads do look like. So here I'm just filling in so you can see what type of information I'm putting. So that one's checking, who the bank is, last four, and then I realized obviously checking would be debit and not credit. So I did change that, and then I just want to have a place that I can easily see which interest rates are for which cards, so I can see which ones I need to prioritize kind of getting paid off first. So here I am doing a financial overview. So what I want to do that I've never done before is calculate kind of per year a comparison between all of my bills scheduled for the year as well as all of our income, and just see like overall for the year where we're at rather than just looking at a month by month level. I just wanted a high level overview of that information. So here I'm just putting kind of some examples. You know, my salary, my husband's salary, if we were to sell on Etsy and YouTube, which we plan to do at some point. And then essentially I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to lay out my data here. So I just did a column for yearly income for each of those areas, so just an estimate if it's something that fluctuates, and then also a monthly section. So there I am doing what our monthly income would be in each one, and then our expenses. So I have fixed expenses as well as variable. And then the last column I'm doing is just a difference. So if you take our expenses away from the total income, what they are per month, and then I also add the same for the year. So if we were to take kind of that by 12, what would the total difference be by the end of the year? Once I'm done this one, I do realize that I really don't like that format at all, so I won't be using that for mine, but I'm just playing with another kind of idea here. So if we do the income and say the 4 different types, and then we do for the year what the income in each area is estimated to be, and then we combine them for a total yearly income beside there. That's what the big dollar sign is. And then also do the same for monthly. So if we were to do the total income across everything per month. And then below this, what I'm just doing is the expenses section. So breaking up the fixed expenses. So that would be things that don't change and are pretty constant. So say your rent, your car payment, anything like that. And then beside that, I am going to do the variable expenses, and that would be things like your gas or your groceries. And what I'm actually trying for the first time this year is doing cash envelopes, so just setting aside the same amount each paycheck, and then I'm able to have the fluctuating amounts, but the amount that I'm actually taking out of my pay will be the consistent, just so I have not as much fluctuation paycheck to paycheck, how much we have left and how much we're putting in each area. And then here what I'm doing is just basically the monthly totals times by 12 would be our yearly amount. So that's what I'm wanting my end number to show me. So for this spread, I am doing net worth and credit score tracker. So this is not something that I've tracked previously. I used a Credit Karma app, and just to get an idea, I don't think it's as accurate as like your actual credit score from like TransUnion or something, but essentially what I'm doing is just writing each month down the side, and then I'm going to do 2 trackers, so one for our credit score and then one for net worth. So you'll see I'm just filling in the months, and then I'll add the columns first for the credit score. And what I'm looking at is what our number is when we start, and if it goes up or down from the previous month, what that amount is. And then beside that, I will do like the total difference. So in the year, from the start of the year to whatever month we're on, what the total change is. And then beside that, what I'm doing is just how far away we are from our kind of goal credit score. So whatever we decide that goal will be, just kind of how much we need to go to get to that. So as you can see, it's just like the plus minus. So the difference, if it is negative or down, I would probably do it in brackets just to indicate that it's a negative, but I am hoping that each month will be a positive improvement. So the next one that I'm doing will be to the right of this, and it is our net worth tracker. So your net worth is essentially if you take your assets, so all the things that you own, and then you take away your risk, so all of like your debts and that, and then you're left with what your net worth is. So it's essentially your value, I guess, if you're kind of to calculate your risk away from what you own. So I want to start to track that monthly. I just feel like that's a good thing to track when we are looking to potentially buy a house in the next couple years. I just want to have an idea of what our overall kind of credit score looks like. And then I'm just using the brush side of this marker to do the columns, because I wanted to indicate to myself that obviously I'm going to do that a bit tidier and really separate those from each other just for the visual appeal. So the tracker I'm doing here is a debt tracker. Again, I'm writing the months down the side, and then at the bottom I am doing an end of year total. So I just want to see kind of if we calculate where we're at each month, and then I want a final number of where we are across the board. And then on the right hand side, I'm also doing a total column, so I will add up all my debts. So each month we will have an overall debt amount, as well as broken down into each area. So here I'm just showing basically if you were to pay each month, once you get down to 0, you can indicate that that one is completed simply by just highlighting it. And I feel like as you're highlighting them and completing them, you'll just see all of your wins, and it'll be really motivational. While I was working on this, I kind of realized I wanted to do it slightly different. So what I'm doing here is I'm indicating you'll have your starting number, and then your payment amount, which you will take away from your overall starting number, and then your interest amount that you will add back in. So I did find when I was looking at stuff, a lot of stuff didn't really account for your interest payment, increasing your amount left. So this one, if you started with 5,000, you paid off 500, but you had a $50 interest added to it, your total would be $45.50. And I will be kind of probably doing that by paycheck rather than by month. So this is a spread I saw someone else do on YouTube. I don't remember who it was, but it's essentially taking each month and writing down kind of like what you estimate you will be able to put into your savings, or put towards your debt if you have any. And here you can also do any kind of highlight. So if you know that you have a large, say like car tax or something come out, you would be able to put that here and just have an estimate each month to see where you might be by the end of the year. And here what I'm doing is a salary tracker, and I just wanted to put all of my paychecks from 2019 and then also track all my paychecks from 2020 and just compare to see the difference between the two. And I also think seeing how much money we do have coming into our home will be something that's really beneficial for us and just for the gratitude side of things. So my yearly future log, this will be calendars, and I will be color coding based on when our paydays are, when our bills are coming out. And this is really just to have a visual of each of the kind of things that are scheduled ahead of time, just so we can see how many bills we have per paycheck, if we're breaking it up like that. And the circles there are just indicating paydays. And then I'm moving on to goals. So there is a way that you can do goals, and it's called, I think, quarterly goals. And it basically, you split it up like urgent and important, urgent and not important, not urgent and important, and not urgent, not important. And it's just a way to see the stuff that you have on your plate and break it down in a way so you know how to prioritize it in a way that makes sense. And then below this, I did a kind of like physical goals, and that's just like 3 set goals to where I'm wanting to be. And of course you want them to be SMART goals, and you can look up what that means. I do have a video on goal setting as well on my channel. And then of course you just want to know your why. So I hope this was helpful. I do have my longer video where I do go step by step through my whole thought process as I'm making it. That would probably be about an hour long, and I am more than happy to edit that and put it up so you can see my actual process. But please do just let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. And as always, I would really appreciate if you can like, and if not already, if you can subscribe to my channel.